Hello, in this exercise we are going to learn how to manage list and how to use as a drawing tool. So let's start with this series. Series has by default 0 a starting point, starting number, 1 a step size, and generates 10 elements. If we want to have a number series that starts from 1, we have just to plug a slider with value 1 to the start point, the start input. Now activate a dispatch component. You can find it under sets list dispatch. Dispatch is a component that split a list using a pattern. By default, the pattern is true false. This means that in channel A goes the first element, not the second one, then the pattern repeats, so the third one goes in the channel A and not the fourth one, so going on, the pattern follows this alternance. Now activate a panel, connect it to the output A, activate a second panel and connect it with the output B. As you can see, all the odd numbers went in the channel A and all the even numbers went in the channel B. Now let's try something new. Here we want to draw a simple truss. So we can begin with a construct point. You can find it under vector point, construct point. The first point will be the 0, 0 point. Now we need a second point with, for example, 5 as x coordinate. And now we need to connect these 2 points using a line component. You can find line under curve primitive line. Now select all these components, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy and paste. And now we just need to change the Z value, the Z coordinate of the 2 points of the second line to obtain a parallel line. And we can exaggerate the length of the first line. I suggest you to reduce at the minimum the number of sliders, because you need often to move in sync different elements. So the best way to have a perfect sync is to control everything that goes together, with the same slider. In this case, the x coordinate of these 2 points. Okay? In this way, you can connect several input to the same parameter. Now we want to draw the braces, or the triangular braces of this truss. So go to curve, division, divide curve, connect the first curve with this component that divide by default in 10 parts a curve. And now, to increase the number of subdivisions, we are going to use a slider, for example 20. Now we have to do the same with the other line, so we can just select, copy and paste the divide curve component. As you can see, the copy shares the same slider, because when you copy a component, you copy also all the input wires. Now activate a point list component with 0.5 is too much, 0.2, and copy and paste the list, the point list, to see the enumeration for the points on the first line and on the second line. And now we want to join the point alternatively. To do this, we need a dispatch element to separate the elements, the items with odds index from the items with even index. As you can remember, the dispatch follows the pattern true false. Connect the divide curve with dispatch. We can use the point params to see what's going on. When you select the point params connected to the A channel, you can see that you have just the point 0, 2, 4, 6. And if you connect the B channel, you have the 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. And we need another dispatch component for the second point of list of points. Connect the second divide curve, and as you can see, we have this exactly the same elements in parallel. So now we could think to just connect the odd element with the even elements, but as you can see, the default mode used by Grasshopper to connect the elements is the longest list way. So we need to change how the elements are related. So we can go to sets list and get shortest list, connect now the line with the AB parameter of shortest list to obtain just the line oriented in one direction. Now let's try to do the same with the other two channels. And as you can see, this is not exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted a triangular pattern, not a cross pattern. So turn off the preview of these four components and activate Weave. Weave is an interesting component. You can find it under Sets List Weave. If you go to the help, you can see that Weave interlace the list following a numeric pattern. For example, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2 means that it will get the first element from the list with index 0, so the first list, capital A, then the second list, lowercase a, then again, going forward, an element from the first list, that is a capital B, and then again an element from the second list that is a lowercase b, and now an element from the third one that is the lowercase x, and then the pattern starts again. So as you can see, by default the pattern is just 0, 1. So one element from the first list, one element from the second list, and loop over the two lists. Now we can just delete that elements and connect the point from channel A from the first dispatch and items from channel B of the second dispatch, and as you can see, now we have exactly the sequence we want. Now go to Curve, Spline, Polyline. You can find it under Curve, Spline, Polyline. And connect the output of Weave with the input vertices of Polyline. And here we have the right pattern.